Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a recap of Blue Therapy Season 2 episode. Actually, no, I think it's Season 1, Episode 1. Okay, so I know there was a previous season, but it wasn't on E4. And so this is the first season that is actually on E4. Okay, so for those of you who have not watched this, don't worry. You can follow me and watch this toxic mess that we're going to get into because I'll be playing some of the clips for you guys to watch. Now, I've sped through it, so I've kept it on like the highest speed or maybe one of the highest speeds so that hopefully I don't get copyrighted, and I'll be pausing at different points to talk about different things in between. So yeah, you guys enjoy. Trust me, it's about to be some mess. So please make sure you subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up and let's get into this craziness. Okay, let's play the clip.
Right here beside you, I'm trying to speak.
So let me just take it back. In those times, T, that you were not together, what happened in your life?
To give you guys some background, these two people, they've been together for 10 years, right? So they've been together for 10 years, and when they were on a break, apparently they were on a 4-year break. I'm just like, first things first, who goes on a 4-year break? Like at that point, isn't it that the relationship is all done? Like, who does a 4-year break? Anyway, guess who decides to have some children during the break? I'll let you find out.
Life.
I have 3 kids.
No, 1, not 2, 3.
Your point is,
That you have 3.
I said it the first time.
3 kids. 3 kids. And here's my thing, right? First, okay. You go on a break with someone and then they have 3 children. Why decide to get back together with them if that is not your ideal situation? It is obvious that there is some resentment or upset about the fact that I had 3 children, right? And I understand that, right? But why then subject yourself to be with this man who had 3 kids outside of the relationship on a break? Like, make it make sense. Now you're like, not 1, not 2, but 3. Like, girl, we heard him. But you're still there.
We did have like a break in between the first 2 years, and then destruction. Found out that he was having a child.
Did you hear that? Destruction. I'm like, girl, destruction is you staying, honey. But let's move on.
4 years in which, whilst we were separated, he had 2 other kids.
You know, it's so hard for me to talk about it because
Like, I just feel like if you're gonna stay with someone who has had 3 children outside of your relationship, right? Whatever arrangement you guys said you have, either way, that is on you. You decided to stay and put up with it, right? So, like, it is what it is. Like, you think about what is it about you that is allowing you to stay in this sort of situation with this man? That's the question I want to ask. Now, I'm going to speed it forward a little bit so you guys can watch the disrespect.
To be honest,
are you choking? Speak.
Let me back
So
up.
what
I
is it
feel
that
like-
you would like to see in the future? How would you like to be together?
So you guys can get that.
sorry, unless it's 10, sorry, but go on, sorry.
So now they're talking about marriage, and so then let's play the clip. She wants marriage. He doesn't want marriage, i.e., he does not want it to be a legally binding marriage. And I'll tell you my thoughts about that in a second, but let's watch this.
It's okay. Was this an issue for you that he went off and had 3 children?
To be honest,
Are you choking? Speak.
That is just rude.
So what is it that you would like to see in the future?
That is just rude. Like, she's trying to talk, she's trying to like think about it and like gather her thoughts, and he's like, why are you starting to talk? I'm like, guy, no empathy, my G. No empathy. Like, where is the empathy? Like, what is going on?
Future, how would you like to be together? Is marriage on the cards?
you don't even know what marriage is.
What is marriage to you?
Marriage is when, you know, 2 people get together and just live happily ever after. She's been conditioned to do things in a Western way. But I'm African, so, you know.
Sorry, guys. The thing is, when people say the whole I'm African does not resolve or absolve you of all sorts of like things, right? Now, he's saying he's African, he's Nigerian, right? And using that as an excuse to not want to get married. Guys, marriage is a big thing in Nigeria, so I don't know what he's talking about. Even in the traditional setting, even if it's not so-called legally binding for some people that do get married, there are a lot of rights that go into it, a lot of tradition goes into it. So it doesn't make any sense to me, in my opinion. Like, I feel like it's just, yeah, now it's given. I don't understand. I personally think he doesn't want to get married because financially he does not want to be tied down. I feel like he feels like she's materialistic in some way. He wants to protect his bag. He knows that if they eventually get a divorce, he's going to have to be giving her half of that money, honey. So, and he ain't trying to do that.
No, I want to do things the African way, which I'm used to, and which I
Western way. And what is the difference in Africa? How does it work?
Africa, you get just meet a beautiful young lady, say, come here, say, that's it, done, you're married,
Really?
got kids.
Oh my God. When he said that, I was like, dude, come on. You're taking the absolute piss. Like, young lady, come here, sit down. No, there's so many rights. They paid bride price. They ask you to buy all sorts of things for the wife. You buy all sorts of things for the wife's family. Like, there are so many things that go into it, also depending on where you're from. There ain't no sit down, come and sit down here. There's things about introduction, which is just introducing the family. There is engagement. There is the traditional wedding. Like, seriously, that's 3 events already. How is that like, come and sit down here? Now you're married. Like, bro, stop it.
Buy her house, cars, and live happily ever after.
Okay, that's obviously not what you were expecting.
Denise, is that marriage?
What do you
It's
think is
idea.
marriage? Pause. What do you think marriage is? What does it mean to you?
Why is this dude asking the therapist, what do you think marriage is? And I'm not being funny, but I'm gonna put that back to you. I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm here to help you facilitate having a dialogue between you guys. So you're not going to be asking me what my personal opinions are on marriage. That is how you handle it, Mrs. Therapist. I'm sorry. You ain't about to come to my house where I'm helping you facilitate conversation to ask about my personal views. Come on, cut it out.
Marriage is the bringing together of two people
Legally.
to move forward in life.
She
Legally,
didn't
right?
say legally once. Can you stop putting words in the mouth?
Where the hell did this guy actually learn about marriage, please? Like, talking.
My thing is, you've been with this man for 10 years, so you know exactly how he feels, right? Like, we might be listening and enduring this nonsense, right? Like, in the last few minutes, but you've been with this guy. You know this guy is, you know who this guy is. Like, so let's stop acting like, oh my God, we're so shocked. Like, where did he get his idea of marriage from? Girl, you let him continue to have that stupid idea because you're staying with him. If he, okay, if marriage is that important to you, girl, why are you with someone that does not want to marry you? He's been with you 10 years and still does not want to marry you legally. He thinks you're good enough to be a wife, but does not want to marry you legally. But you're still there being like, oh, like, at some point, I feel like you also have to take responsibility, or let's say accountability, for you continuing to stay in something that is clearly very toxic. That is a big problem. But let's play.
About in Africa, this happens, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying to you, we need to do things properly, the right way.
I am ready to pay for 5 weddings in 5 different countries.
Mandem said, I am ready to pay for 5 weddings in 5 different continents or countries. Can I just say this, guy? What do you do, honey? What do you do for a living? Like, let me know so I can add that to my resume, honey, because 5 different weddings and 5 different, like, you got it like that, sir?
Continents. I'll put a ring on every single finger. Buy a house, buy a car. What car you want? G-Wagon?
Yes,
Make
all of
that
that,
whatever
but
you
that's
want.
not the point.
Buy
That's
sign
not
no
the point.
papers.
Okay.
Mandem said, I will put a ring on every finger. Buy a G-Wagon. What car do you want? G-Wagon? I'm like, oh, say less. Yeah. Still not falling for that BS. And if you fall for that, that's on you, sis. That is on you, sis. Tunde does not want to marry you. Take it from me. Tunde does not want to marry you. I feel like he feels like you're materialistic and you will take him for everything that he has if it goes south. That man does not want to put a ring on it in that way. He's happy to give you the rings. He's happy for you to collect the rings, but he ain't gonna make it legal. He ain't gonna make it official. That's what he said.
Okay, for me, marriage is the legally recognized union between two people.
Tell me why you need that.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. What separates me?
When she said that, I was like, yeah, tell me why you need that, right? Because I really wanted to know. Right here, I was hoping that she would come up and talk about what marriage is, and actually have a very sensible reason. But honestly, guys, I wouldn't say I was disappointed in light of the conversations that we've shown you earlier, or I've shown you earlier. I can't say that I am completely shocked. I'll be completely honest with you. So what I will do is play it for you guys because I cannot watch this alone.
From his two baby mothers.
We actually have a relationship.
Okay.
She said she wants to be separated from his two baby mamas. I'm like, that's why you want him to get married to you? That's why you want to get married to someone? For you to be separated from his two baby mamas. Now, let's assume he's not messing around with his two baby mamas, right? So that differentiates. You're the girlfriend. You're the one that has a relationship with this man in that way, right? You have a completely different relationship with this man compared to the relationship he has with his baby mamas, right? So why do you need a ring? It's almost like I want to show that I'm better or I'm chosen over these other women, which doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a different thing if you said, oh, we love each other and, I want us to build a life together. I want to commit towards having that life, building a family, having children, doing all of that. Nothing like that. Instead, it is you want to have a one-up on these women that had kids for him. Sis, seriously. Like, no, sis. You have it all messed up. I will say that.
We do things together. We love each other. They're way different.
I need everything to be recognized.
By
law.
Why?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in a situation right now where I feel like I have to battle and fight for my position with you because of your life. Like, you're the one who has.
I have to fight for my position with you. The thing about it is this. It begs the question. Why does she feel like she has to fight for her position? Is it because Tunde doesn't make it clear to the baby mamas and anyone who cares to know that he's with Marie and happy and sound and solid, and this is his girl, he ain't dipping and doing it with those girls, right? Or is it because she is insecure and wants to be like, oh, I'm the one that got the ring. I'm the one, even though he had break babies on me, I'm the one with the ring, honey. I won. I got him. Is that it? I actually, I hate to say this, but from a little bit about what we're seeing, I actually feel like it's the I got the ring thing. I really hate to say it, but I feel like it's the I got the ring thing. I'll be honest. That's how I feel. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
No, but I do though.
All of this is in your head.
To
It's
be
all
honest,
external.
if it wasn't for the love that I have for this guy, I wouldn't even be with him.
You won't find a better guy than me. I'm the best you're ever gonna have.
My ideal man doesn't even have kids.
Ooh. She said her ideal man does not have kids. So what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And that is my problem with a lot of people. You know your ideal man does not have kids. So what are you doing here? Why do you continuously date someone whose idea or who you think is not your ideal man? Why are you doing it? Why are you stressing yourself with that nonsense? What is the reason? So I want to play a little bit more about the relationship here. And then before I go back to the second couple that they showed.
With 3 children between them.
I mean, I can't send them back to heaven.
No, but it seems like it's okay for you to do it, but it wouldn't be okay for Marie to do it.
She could do what she wants.
So let me back this up a little bit because I need you guys to grasp what is happening here. Seriously.
I'm not even going into
actually,
you're
At
actually
least
mad.
the belly you can sort it out.
So-
Height, you can't do nothing about it.
I tell him all the time.
That's like her
maybe
saying
with you,
she wouldn't be able to.
Oh, guys, no. I gotta back it up a little bit more. Trust me, you will be appreciated when I back it up.
your situation. Would you give me my kids? Because you're the biggest hypocrite ever.
If you guys did not hear that, because that went too quickly, she was like, would you be with me if I had kids? Because you're the biggest hypocrite ever. Now let's play.
I've got 3 kids. So if you got a kid and I'm, meant to be the breadwinner, it's just gonna be too many kids, man. Like, I'm saying no nursery. I like my woman in certain ways, looking pretty, just look at her, So all the,
He's like, I like my women a certain way. Listen. This is problematic for a number of reasons, but I'm gonna let him land first before I jump at him.
baby mothers, kangaroo pouches.
Hang on a minute. We don't have to bring that
Kangaroo
kind of
pouch.
attitude into the room.
I don't mean it.
Kangaroo pouches. Okay.
Like that, just as in like, I like, big bum, flat tums, pretty face.
Who even says that? Like, you're actually a grown man who
He likes big bum, flat tum, pretty face. Okay. Let's keep going.
came from a woman, your mother gave birth to you, and you're there saying kangaroo pouch, kangaroo. Like, please go and actually learn some manners.
Big.
Childish. What the hell?
Preference is childish.
Yes, what the hell? You're talking about, like, look.
Now, people are allowed to have their preferences, right? People are allowed to have their preferences. We don't stop people or talk about like you ain't gonna have your preferences. You're allowed to have your preferences, but like, guys, let's think about it. This man is saying he does not want to date a woman with kids because he don't want no kangaroo pouches. That is just rude for no reason. One. And also, what happens if they get married and she has a kid and she then develops a mama pooch? What happens then? Is he going to be like, yeah, nah, I cannot be with you? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because he's very much given, you gain that weight, you don't look the way I want, and I'm going to be out. Is that why he didn't end up with any of his baby mamas? These are the things I think she should be asking herself. Because I'm sorry, but I don't want to date a man that can be that disrespectful to someone who had a kid, right? And who dealt with a lot, right? Body changes, right? Like, even people that don't have kids have a little bit of a pooch. So then you're not saying, oh, you like your woman a certain way, which is fair enough. Everyone is allowed their preference. But then at the same time, we have to proceed with caution in the way we communicate certain things. Because let's be honest, those 2 women that had kids for you had kids for you. Those are your children. Your children changed their bodies, right? So let's have some empathy for these women. It's not every woman that is able to immediately lose that pooch. And I wonder, is he going to have grace for her if she got pregnant for him and then had a little bit of a pooch? Or is he going to go to the next slim, tiny waist, flat tum, big bum, pretty face B that he finds? That is a problem.
Look, listen to this mindset.
I have my preferences and I'm allowed to state my preferences. That's how you say you don't like short men.
Do you know, it's not even the same.
No,
I'm not even going into
actually,
you're
at
actually
least
mad.
the belly you can sort it out.
So-
Man, them said at least the belly you can sort it out. Man, it's funny. This is the thing. Sometimes it's not just about what you say, but how you say it, right? Because someone else could express that preference and it will not come across as rude and the way he has like expressed it, right? But saying things like kangaroo pouches, saying things like, he likes his women a certain way, this is giving like, guy, like be a bit more tasteful in the way in which you express these things. No one is trying to out you for your preference, right? Like, I personally prefer a man that does not have a pot belly. Fine, that's just it, is a preference. We live with our preferences, but I'm not going to go out and say, oh yeah, I like my man a certain way. You can't have no bare belly, no pot belly, no this. Like, there's no need for all that. There really is no need for all that. There's a way to communicate your preference without being, um, or by being, even though still being sensitive, especially to women who their bodies change because of different things like hormones and also having a baby. So, like, there has to be some empathy there. Like, some women end up with like loose skin, stretch marks, right? Like, so what do you want them to do? Like, they lose the pooch, but they have a little bit of body, like a little bit of loose skin there, which means their belly is not going to always be completely flat, right? Like, so that's not something they control. That's not something they had any, unless they do something surgical or some sort of non-surgical body contouring treatments that works on that. But like, that's not something that is necessarily, something that they can alter without taking certain drastic steps, right? That's all I'm saying.
You can't do nothing about it.
I tell him all the time.
That's like
like,
her
me
saying
being with
she
you,
couldn't be with a
you're
guy who
lucky, you're
isn't
so-
rich or who's got money. Would you be with a guy who's broke?
No, I absolutely would not.
Exactly.
You're not the trophy relationship.
I said, would you be with a guy that is broke? She said, absolutely not. I'm like, okay. Mm-mm.
You should actually feel privileged that someone like me even wants to marry you.
Yeah.
T, would you be with Marie if she already had children?
No,
Sorry?
I wouldn't know.
He said that without flinching. He would not be with Marie if she had children. See, you're moving the goalpost, right? Your standards on who is an ideal man for you is someone who doesn't have children. Well, you're moving the goalpost and dating a man that has children. But this same man that has 3 children is not or would not date you if you had a kid. Did you hear that, Marie? Why are you still with this man? Like, this is beyond me at this point. Like, I don't know, man. This is just beyond me at this point. But I'm gonna keep going.
But you're quite happy to have got 2 baby mothers with 3 children between them.
I mean, I can't send them back to heaven.
No, but it seems like it's okay for you to do it, but it wouldn't be okay for Marie to do it.
She could do what she wants, but just not with me.
That's actually very
Oh, he said she can do what she wants, but just not with me. Did you guys hear that? And this is the thing that people need to know, especially when they're always constantly adjusting their standards. You adjust your standard for a man that ain't gonna adjust his standards for you. Okay, let's move on to a completely different point that was raised that I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Oh, let's play that.
So Marie got really upset a moment ago. You didn't seem to show any empathy towards the fact that she
Stupid
was
idiot, that's
upset.
why.
Is this normal?
But it's just she just overreacts. And,
How am I overreacted?
She's kind of like she's a bit.
No empathy whatsoever. And also, I don't know if it's just me, but it comes across as a lot of acting. And it seems I see so many parallels between this couple and the couple from the Trend Central Blue Therapy season 1 that they had, Chioma and Paul, I believe. It feels like they watched it and then they're like, oh, we are going to copy their mannerisms. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy that. I don't know, man.
Emotionally unstable. Yeah.
How do you go sit down?
T, what would you say is the strongest thing between you? The link.
It's our mindset, hustle. Yeah, I think
Well, at least he's saying some good things about her now. Let's watch.
we're both good hustlers. But then she tries to hustle me, and that's where I ain't having that. You ain't gonna try to hustle a hustler.
It's like, guy, you were just giving a compliment. Then you decided to take it left. Oh, she's a hustler. We're both hustlers. And then, but the thing is, she now tries to hustle me. And you can't hustle a hustler. Like, guy, what the heck? How did we get here? That is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how did we get here?
What?
We could both have the same plate of food, but she'll still want what's on my plate, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. But when you take what's off my plate and then act ungrateful, then that's when there's an issue.
I know where he's going with this.
Well,
Like,
okay,
he's talking
Oh, God. I can't lie. These people exhausted me, right? The whole time I was like, I am tired watching these people. These people exhausted me. I was like, yo, if this is how a lot of relationships are, bro, I don't want it. What? Nah, fam, this is too much stress.
about
So where am I
simple things that a man should do,
Like what?
like looking after your
I
woman.
look after you, bro.
You're a man, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Let's play our roles accordingly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I look after you. Like, I
Let's
take care of you.
play-
You go on holidays, I buy you stuff.
He said, I look after you. She's like, yeah, let's play our roles. I'm like, okay. You're a man, I'm a woman. I'm like, okay, sis, all right. Let's explore this. And so he's like, he looks after her, he pays for holidays and whatnot. Let me play this.
Even the holidays that he's mentioning is even still a problem.
What
Because
about
we're not asking for holidays. It's not like he even still wants to provide as well.
Listen, this woman wants me to give her £15,000 for her to go on a 4-day trip to Miami.
Oh, okay.
The cost of living is just stupid these days, and she wants me to give her 15 grand, so she go
You
waste on holiday.
already know how I live my life.
Bruh, she wants 15,000 to go to Miami, and he's like, he ain't want to do it. She's like, you know how I live my life. I'm like, wow, okay, girl. What do you do? Because, are they hiring? Like, hook a sister up, man. Like, what?
Lost her mind.
I haven't lost my mind. He already knew what it was when he got back into this relationship with me. He knows what type of girl I am. He knows my standards. He knows what I require. And he was fine with it. So I don't know why now, all of a sudden, he doesn't seem to be meeting up with what we agreed to.
Did you go on holiday?
Wow, it sounds like they had an agreement. She's like, he doesn't seem to be meeting up with what we agreed to. I'm kind of wondering, like, what did you all agree to? When did this conversation happen? What was the conversation about? I would pay to be a fly on the wall and like actually listen to them have this said conversation, because I'm trying to figure out what conversation was had, what was said, and how did you all talk about holidays and how much, and did you say you wanted an allowance? Did he agree to an allowance? Like, I'm just really trying to understand. So I'm hoping that the next episode will get a little bit more clarity about that. But for now, it's still not clear.
I have my own money, Denise.
No one's saying you got your own money.
Because
Listen, shush.
She's like, I got my own money, Denise. I'm like, okay, ma'am. Like, sis, hook a sister up. I'm serious. If you ever watch this video, sis, hook a sister up. Just let me know in the comment section below, girl, or reach out to me by DMs. Like, what do you do and how can I get into it?
That's 15 grand. A couple of days later, I use a laptop sometimes, isn't it? And I'm seeing a £15,000 credit alert. You want to explain that? Who's that from?
a client.
A client? A business client?
Yeah, business client who wanted a property. He paid a deposit and he paid 6 weeks rent, and it was £15,000.
Okay.
Interesting.
So she wanted 15,000 exactly to go to Miami. Next thing, a credit alert for £15,000 comes into the account. Now, it is a bit suspicious, I will say that. And the reason I will say that is because that's a very exact figure, right? Like, £15,000, why wasn't it £16,000? Why wasn't it 17? Why wasn't it 14? Why wasn't it 13, right? Why was it exactly that? And exactly after I said, I'm not giving you 15,000 to go to Miami. What it sounds like is, and I don't want to say because I don't want to cast aspersions. Everything is in my own opinion and allegedly, honey, like, all in my opinion, not stating it as facts. But it does sound a bit suspicious. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but it does sound a little suspicious. That is the exact same amount. Like, if you even said 15,500 and something, 15,000, 14,559, 13,000 something, the fact that it's exactly 15,000 after you asked for exactly 15,000, I did not receive it, is a little bit suspicious. That is just my opinion. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that is all I want to cover on Marie and Tunde. I personally believe Tunde does not want to marry her because he does not want that responsibility. Especially if, like, seriously, if you know that there's a potential that this person is with you, or likes money, is materialistic, you don't feel safe with them when it comes to finances, the last thing on your mind would be, you let me go ahead and marry this person. That's just in my opinion. Okay, so let's start talking about this other couple called Sean and Ray. So that is Ray. As you can see, Ray is a baddie. She looks gorgeous. That body is set. I will say that. And yeah, Sean is a good-looking man as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some of the clips for you guys, but these ones, I don't even know which one, which couple is more toxic, couple one or couple two. Honestly, they all are toxic, and we have to break it down and get to the bottom of it, honey. Like, they are all toxic. I don't know how they pick them, where they pick them from, but they are all toxic. But let's get into it.
Hello, Sean. All right. Take a seat. Take a seat.
Absolutely.
I'm sensing some tension.
Girl, I'm sensing some tension. We all are at this point. Now let's see what they say.
Who would like to shed some light on what's going on?
He brought me here because he's a liar. And honestly, I don't see the point of being here.
Now let me pause.
Why is it every time we're in public?
He brought me here because he's a liar, and I don't see the point of being here. Now, let's think about that statement. We're going to therapy to work on our issues, and that is your opening statement. Is that not choosing violence? That is as good as just saying, do you know what, this whole session is about to be a mess. Like, it isn't even, it's like, bruh, it started real crispy at this point. Like, yeah. Okay, let's continue.
They always like trying to play me out to be some bad person.
So
First of all, you're saying I'm lying, but every
So
single time you
what-
go out, you always try
what's
to play this
your
victim
question?
card and all that type of stuff.
Just to
Like,
answer your
you're a grown
question,
woman.
since he wants to get
Wait.
outraged.
This is the thing. If you want to get matters resolved, don't come in calling people names, right? Like, one thing I will say about, like, calling buzzwords, you're a liar, you are a thief, you are this. Don't call people names. Call out behavior. You don't need to call that person a liar. Say, I feel like there are things that you have lied about. Oh, I think you lie about a lot of things. Now, if you think he's a liar, why are you still staying? Right? So don't stay with someone that is a liar and then expect them to do other things but lie. Right? So if you are staying with someone who has lied about certain things, he clearly must not be too much of a liar for you to stay with him. So you starting off the conversation being like, you're a liar, that's a buzzword to start with, right? I don't know what you are thinking that would accomplish, but of course that's going to make the other party defensive, right? Now, I think he's immature, and we'll get into him in a bit more detail. But like I said, don't start by calling people names and then wonder when they decide to act a fool. Don't do it. It is not going to resolve anything, right? The whole point of being in therapy, I assume, is because they want to work on their issues and improve in their relationship, right? But what it comes across is like, you're saying that, but then your behavior is saying another. And these people have only been together for 10 months, just 10 months, and there is this level of toxicity. I'm just trying to give you all some context, honey. There is this level of toxicity. I'm concerned. I will say that.
So if you want to get irate,
Bro, you're 30 plus. What's going on?
are you rude?
Like, you're
Are you
acting like a
rude?
child.
I would describe Ray as very opinionated.
Well. Heck.
I can be stubborn sometimes.
She's very argumentative.
I am outspoken, not like in a bitchy way, but if you bring it to me, of course, you are going to get the bitch.
She is toxic. I will say that. She is toxic. And so is he, but in completely different ways. And the reason I say she's toxic is because it sounds like she feels and you guys will see it in a little bit more detail when I play more of the clips. She sort of feels like he's the only one with the issue, and she's like, "Oh, I can be a little stubborn. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, I can be, you know, outspoken, but I'm not. But yeah, if you do something, the beat can come out of her." You need to take accountability for what comes out of you, irrespective of the stimuli, right? So irrespective of anyone doing whatever, it's the same way I think this guy's very, very immature, even though I feel like using, you know, you starting a therapy session using buzzwords is not a productive way to start the conversation. Nonetheless, they're both toxic, but in different ways, and I will show you guys in a second. But let's keep analyzing this clip.
Relationship, don't say smooth sailing. I want me to move forward 10 steps. You probably move back like 100. So. Don't know how the relationship's gonna go from here, but right now, I'm not really seeing eye to eye. It's probably the worst we've been so far.
Just to answer your
No,
question,
go on.
I actually haven't seen him. I think in the last week or so. The last time I saw him, we got into a really, really heated argument. Again, continuous lies.
What do you lie about?
Everything. So over the weekend, I called him and he said, "Oh, you know, I'm sick. I don't feel well."
Okay, so now she's about to go into one of the things that he's lied about. And so I want you guys to really follow and, you know, let's focus on what she's saying.
I've got a flu. I'm not going out, right? Why is it like an hour or two later, a friend of mine calls me and says, "Oh, Sean is at this motive"? I mean, as a man, can you not understand where I'm coming from? You tell your girl that you're not going out. So I'm thinking, okay, let me cook him some soup. Let me take it for him. Let me surprise him. Not knowing his ass is out. His ass is out, and he couldn't even tell me that he was out.
I wasn't dying.
Okay. Multiple things I want to say about this. One, I feel like she's argumentative, right? Now, if I was dating someone and they were unwell, like for instance, yesterday I was really unwell, right? I was unwell, not feeling well, really, really struggling. Even today, still struggling, but of course, gotta work, right? And so yesterday, at some point, after like resting, I was like, okay, I already had an appointment booked to go somewhere. And I did not want to cancel because if I canceled, I know the way my schedule is, I'm probably not going to find another time to go to the same thing for a while, right? And so I knew the time was now. Also, I'd paid a deposit, so I needed to show up to the appointment. It wasn't good enough for me to be able to cancel, right? So, of course, imagine I was with someone who was insecure and we had talked and I was saying, "Oh, I'm not really feeling well." And then I picked up and left and went to this thing and they saw me out. They would be upset, right? Now, I'm not going to minimize it by saying as a partner, you should communicate. However, there are some times where you need to run a quick errand, you need to do something real quick, and you're unable to do that, right? Or you forget to communicate those things, right? Now, this situation is different because it sounds like he went out to an event, right? I do know sometimes when you're not feeling well and people are like, "Oh, let's go. You might feel better." There have been times when I've considered it and I've just been like, "All right, F it, let's go." Right? And even though I wasn't feeling 100%, right? But now, if it wasn't planned, is it possible that I may forget to tell my partner? Does that mean that I was lying about it? No. It may not have been intentional, right? So I would personally give a little bit of grace on that, especially when it's not a pattern. It's a different thing if it's a pattern and this is what this person does, right? Every time you say he's not going anywhere, next thing is out. That is a pattern, right? That is not like your friend pulled up and we're like, "Guy, I know you're not feeling well, but like, let's go out. You might feel better." And then you're like, "All right, let's go," right? Those things happen sometimes, right? So you can't crucify him and say he lied about that because that is not something that may not necessarily be something that was intentional. It could be something as easy as last minute plans, right? Now, should he have communicated that to you? Yes. However, he didn't communicate that. But why are you taking it as a lie as opposed to a gap in communication? Now, we're going to see why I think she may be taking it as a lie because he did lie about other things at the start of the relationship, which we will talk about. Well, here's what I always say. If you're in an arrangement or relationship with someone that you feel is a liar or is someone of bad character, then why stay with that person? It doesn't help, because then you start to second guess things, you start to overreact about things, or you start to get irate about things that you on the face of it does not seem like something you should get that irate over. Yes, you can be upset, like, babe, you didn't tell me you were going out, but it shouldn't be something that even when you're relaying that right now, you seem upset about the issue to that extent. Yeah, let's continue. Oh, crap. Hold on. I think I missed. I really jumped. Hold on. I think I stopped here. Oh, hold on. Okay, maybe here. Oh, no. Hey, guys.
Who would like to shed some light on what's going on?
He brought me here because he's a liar.
Okay.
And honestly, are you rude?
I would describe Ray as very opinionated.
I can be stubborn sometimes.
She's very argumentative.
I am. Last week or so, the last time I saw him, we got into a really, really heated argument. Again, continuous lies.
What do you lie about?
Everything. So over the weekend, I called him and he said, oh, you know, I'm sick. I don't feel well. I've got a flu. I'm not going out, right? Why is it his ass is out and he couldn't even tell me that he was out?
I wasn't dying.
When
That's
how you made it seem like he was dying. Why are you not telling me where you're going?
Let's take it down. Let's take a breather for a second. Yeah?
But this whole lying thing, I hate it. Because I'm not a liar. Like, lying is when I purposely try and mislead you. I didn't purposely try and mislead her. Like, I just didn't tell her certain information because she didn't ask. So if you don't ask something and I don't tell you, then I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. This is what I mean about this man being immature. If you don't ask something, I won't tell you. No, that is not how relationships should work, sir. You should volunteer information. She shouldn't have to ask you about every single thing. You should be able to volunteer information. Oh, hey, babe. Plans changed. I'm heading over. I'm actually going over to my friend. Still not feeling well, but I'm hoping that I could just soldier on. That's it. That's all you gotta do, sir. You then saying, oh, it's not a lie, blah, blah. I'm not purposely trying to mislead you. I hear you on that. However, the bigger issue is, why are you not being forthcoming and saying she can just ask you? You should volunteer information. Don't wait for her to ask you, sir. That's just what I got to say on this one. But his immaturity is showing. I will say that.
Not lying.
Ray, you mentioned about he lied from the beginning.
Yes.
Can you shed some light exactly on what he lied about?
First one, second one, third one, which one?
First one.
So when we met on Hinge, his profile said 28 years old, right? Obviously, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I don't want to be dating anyone, you know, that young. So one day he took me out to dinner and I confronted him about it. I was like, what's your real age? That's when I found out he was 26 years old. He deceived me in the relationship. And I just want to understand why you carried on lying. Even when I confronted you about it, you were still making excuses. What did you want from me? Why did you lie about your age?
I didn't lie about the age, bro.
Yes, you did.
Let me talk for a second, Ray. If you make a profile, like I said, I've had the profile for a minute. I can't remember what age I put, right? And I met Ray maybe, I don't know, however long later.
Okay, I was trying to pause this thing, but that thing didn't want to pause, Harry. Okay, here's the thing. You met this man on Hinge. He had a age on his profile which did not match his actual age, and then you confronted him, blah, blah, blah. Now, that is a lie. If you're setting up a profile saying you're 28, when you are not 28, that is a lie, sir. Say what you want, that is a lie. It's an outright lie. That is really what it is. Now, I know some people do the argument and say, you know, oh, when I'm on a dating app and I'm not looking for anything serious, you know, like, why am I really going to put my real deeds on it? But that's the thing. It shows a bigger issue, because for me, why are you trying to deceive people? Even if you don't want nothing serious, that don't mean they kind of know what your age is. You could have kept that blank if you didn't want to put your age in it. Like, why put your age and put something that is a lie? So I completely understand that, and I agree with that. And she was saying she didn't want to date someone that young. I completely understand that. But my thing then is, when you did find out that you were being deceived, why did you not leave? What was it that was holding you back? And these are the kind of conversations that we need to ask ourselves, because we can't always put that responsibility on someone else. You need to think about, what is it about me that makes me feel like this is something I should be tolerating? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And you meet girls all the time on all these dating sites. You talk to girls all the time on all these dating sites. Like, I don't owe you shit.
So what's
I
your motive?
may not speak to
So
them.
what was your motive
All right,
then?
so what we're going to do here
What's
is
your motive?
that,
You just like to get in the pants.
It's not even lies.
Just off the pants, just lie, just off the pants.
guys,
Oh.
listening is
Oh.
an important factor in this actual session. We have to listen. It's very, very important.
Honestly, these people exhausted me because they were constantly speaking over each other. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to hear y'all, man. I want to hear you. I want to hear him. Can I hear both of you without you guys bouncing over each other and like talking over each other? It was really exhausted, I'll be honest. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm not feeling too well, but guy, this episode made me even feel even worse. I'm like, what is wrong with these folk?
That we listen. We cannot keep interrupting each other. Sean,
I still want to be a bit private. I mean, I don't think I need to tell the whole
About your
everything.
age.
I can be private about whatever I want.
isn't the age
Well,
from your perspective important to
Guys,
put?
that's a lie, sir. If you still want to be private, then don't put your age on the dating site. Ask me. I don't know. I don't know how Hinge works in terms of whether or not you can decide not to put your age specifically. But I don't know, hon. Like, put your real age, or don't be on Hinge if you can't put your real age. Like, what is it, sir? Like, stop it. Stop making excuses. That is just what that is. You lied about that. That was a lie.
So
Thank
you
you.
find out that
I wasn't looking for anything.
Thank you.
Alright.
It doesn't matter. He didn't complain until we
I
were
did
like, how
complain.
many dates in between? Until he's collapsed my cheeks from here to
Oh
Sunday.
my
From here to
fucking
Sunday, he's
days.
collapsed it, he's done whatever.
Can't, like, that made me laugh. She's like, he did not confess until he had clapped my cheeks from now till Sunday. I'm like, not the cheeks, not the cheeks getting clapped. Oh my goodness. So I think she, in that sense, it sounds like they had already become intimate before she found out about his real age. At that stage, she felt like she was already in too deep. And now, the way she speaks to him gives me the impression I actually sense some resentment. Like she said, she does not want to be dating a guy that is younger than her. I feel like she wants to be dating a mature man. But then the fact that your cheeks got clapped by this man that is younger, and then you feel like you're already in deep, you feel like you gotta just keep it going. But then the way you treat him, the way you speak to him, it's clear that there is a lack of respect there. And I understand some women say they find it hard to respect a man that is younger than them, right? And I get that. And I get that she feels like her choice was taken away from her. But sis, you still have a choice. You don't have to stay in it. You still have a choice. You still have a choice. So this is what I mean. They're both very toxic. She's toxic in the sense that she's very argumentative. She is very, argumentative is the best way to put it, right? And she can be aggravating by constantly calling names and taking those little jabs. But also he is very aggravating as well, but in a different way. He's immature, right? Lied about his age. Immature in the way in which he says certain things that he knows will set her off as well, right? So it's like someone is also poking at you. He loves poking at her as well. So that's what I mean about they're both very toxic. And you would see what I mean by he loves poking at her very soon as I play the clips.
All right. Still didn't tell me.
When you asked him about his age, did he come clean at that moment or did he continue to deny it?
He continued to
I didn't deny
play
it.
down.
Wait,
He
one
played
second.
down.
One second. I need to know the difference between denying and playing down.
Okay, he
What do
didn't
you mean
deny
by
it.
So it sounds like when she confronted him, he didn't lie about it, but he sort of played down the situation like he is doing, because to him, he doesn't really feel like it is a lie. What I do get from him is he's not a very transparent person. And sometimes the problem with certain people that are not transparent is they feel like if I don't tell you this, then I have not lied to you because I'm withholding information from you. Or so for instance, he didn't deny it. but he did not. He sort of like played it down, right? To them, they're like, I didn't lie. All I did was like, play it down, right? But the thing with that is, there is also lies by omission is also a lie, right? Yes, outright lies, you saying you're this when you're not, that's a lie. But then lies by omission, when I raise an issue with you as a lie, and then you don't accept that you lied about it and acknowledge that, but you're like, well, that is a lie, right? Because you intentionally, yes, you omitted it, right? But it was still a lie, right? This whole 20-something-year-old thing, whatever you put on that profile was a lie. Accept it. There's no reason to play it down. I know you feel like, oh, you weren't looking for something serious, but why lie? You're not looking for something serious, then let people date you based on your merits and who you are. Like, I don't understand why you gotta lie about that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think she's being sensitive, overreacting. She made it a big deal. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
I'm very pissed off with Sean. I want him to completely be honest and just take accountability for his actions.
Hey. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
On the note of marriage, how can you make Marie feel?
Well, thank you. Right. So this is the thing. Did you guys just hear him say it's not that deep? The problem with this guy is he doesn't take accountability for what he has done as well. I know he feels like she doesn't take accountability, and I agree to an extent, but I think he also doesn't take accountability. You keep saying it's not a big deal. To you, it may not be a big deal. To me, it is, because you took away my choice. And my choice and my preference is to date someone who is a certain age. Right? You say it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal for her. And this is the thing with relationships. Just because something ain't a big deal to you, if it's a big deal to your partner, then you have to acknowledge it. And that is where I think their problems lie, right? One person thinks that is not a big deal, the other person thinks it is a big deal. And so they are butting heads about that, and that's what the issue is. So now they're showing us these people, which we've covered. So let's go back to, I think they're going to show us Michael and Lauren. Okay, so I think they show us Michael and Lauren here. So I'm going to play the Michael and Lauren bit, and then we'll go back into, and then we'll cover the last couple. All right, let's get into Michael and Lauren here. Okay.
This in the future, right?
The truth
And bear in mind as well that you're dating someone that's slightly older than you, and you're dating someone slightly younger than you. So you're in two different places in life. What else is the issue apart from just the lie and the age situation? What else is on your mind?
Ask him. His big head is the one that brought me here.
I need someone else to be a mediator. She's a bad communicator.
She's exhausting to watch. She is. I hope she watches this back and like actually learns that like she needs to learn how to communicate. Yeah, the it's not giving what she thinks it's giving. But let's play what he says.
She shuts down when I try to speak to her. Like, she just shouts all the.
You see what I mean about aggravating? He's talking about what he's talking about, and she's like, hypocrite. Like, guy, can he speak? Same way when you're speaking, he interrupts as well. So that's the thing. They're both immature. They're both aggravators and agitators. And they're both toxic. Right? Now, she's more on the argumentative side, which makes her even toxic-ish, as in toxic times 2 or whatever. Well, they both are toxic. If we're calling a spade, they both are toxic. But let's continue.
The damn time.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. You need to ask her what the reason is.
Is there a reason for that?
Like, it's not making no sense.
I just feel like with Sean, he just doesn't hear me. So yes, sometimes I get frustrated and I shout, but that's only because when I get to 10, he doesn't know how to bring me back down. Just help.
Okay. This is where it gets interesting for me. And this is really a big thing I want to cover today. So she's saying that she feels like he doesn't hear her, so then she shouts. Well, my thing is, has shouting helped him hear you more? I can bet that it hasn't. Instead, what it does is it turns into an argument and then it escalates. If shouting was getting you your results, you wouldn't be here. I will say that, right? Like, I never understood people that say that, oh, he wasn't hearing me, so I shout. Shouting will not let him hear you any better. You need to think, how else can I communicate with this person if whatever it is that I'm doing is not working? Now, you could leave the relationship, which is always a choice, which is always something that I usually recommend, really, if I'm being completely honest. But if you don't want to leave the relationship, then think, how can I communicate better? How can we find some sort of middle ground about the way we speak to each other, the way we listen, so that I can hear him, he can hear me, and we can both get what we need? Instead, she's like, well, you know, he doesn't hear me, so I shout. That's not the right thing. If a man was saying that, we would say he's been abusive. So she's been abusive, verbally abusive towards him, right? There is no reason for you to be shouting at somebody that you're in a relationship with, or even anybody in general. But let's focus on relationships, right? There's no reason for you to be shouting at someone you're in a relationship with, only to stay in the relationship to shout again the next day. What sense does that make? Are you okay? Like, why would you even want to be in that kind of relationship? Why are you attracted to that level of toxicity where you're with someone who is not listening to you? Where you're with someone who doesn't speak to you properly, where you're with someone who shouts at you? So that goes for both of them. They must be toxic. They have to be. Think about it. You think someone's going to be shouting at me and I'll stay? Or someone, I feel like the person agitates me and I will stay? For what reason? Why? What would that what benefit would that be for me? But the only reason is because I feel like I am retrospective and I do the work on myself to be a better person and ensure that I'm in relationships that serve me and I'm serving them as well. Now, let's focus on these ones a little bit and play the clip, because I want you guys to focus and listen to what she is going to be saying here.
Me relax, right? Instead, he aggravates the situation even more. And then he wants to insert himself as if he's my dad or something. And that pisses me off.
Why do I need to get you to like a 6 or 7? You're a grown-ass woman. You should be able to do that by yourself. If you don't handle yourself.
Exactly. This is the first time I agree with this guy since the episode started. She wants him to be able to calm her down. She wants him to be able to bring her back from 100 to back to earth, right? Calm down, right? No one should have that responsibility for your emotions but you. You are the one to regulate your emotions. You're the one, that's your responsibility. You need to learn how to regulate your emotions. You need to learn how to speak to people. You need to learn how to communicate without having to shout. You need to learn how to not be argumentative. Those are the things you need to learn, right? There is no reason for you to be shouting at someone in conversations. What would the point be? And then say to him that it's his responsibility to balance you out. No. That you're a grown-ass woman. That's not his responsibility. That is your responsibility as a grown-ass woman. If he said that, or if a guy said that, I bet you would be like, what does he mean? I have to be the one to be balancing him out. No, so sis, let's not rationalize your toxic mentality and behavior. It's just not on. Now let's keep watching.
By now, then there's some serious issues there. How about you bring me down to 6 or 7? How about that? Why is it always about you?
She needs to learn.
You need to learn how to talk to a woman.
You need to learn how to talk to me. You need to learn how to respect
You need to learn
So
how
like
to
what we're doing right
treat
now is not.
So what is